Hello, Footy fans. We are back. Andrew Santo and Joe, as always. Sorry for the little hiatus from recording. I had a birthday celebration last weekend. Was not in the right mindset to record a podcast at that moment. But we're back now. And I mean, like we could take our pick, like what to talk about, because so much has happened in the last 2 weeks. Man City losing to Tottenham. Chelsea and Liverpool playing it out a long goalless drought of a Carabao Cup final, and Ukraine being invaded by Russia. So, where should we start?
It's been a very, very eventful 2 weeks. Like Andrew said, he's getting old.
Yeah, man.
So we had to just say a prayer for his age and take the day off.
R.I.P. to the 20s.
You know, that hit me really hard. I still remember laying in bed after I turned 30, and it was the first time my age hit me. And I was just like, oh, yeah, my 20s are done. Oh,
my 20s are done.
My 20s are done. But I've heard a lot of people say how their 30s were the best. But again, your age is just a number on your driver's license.
True. I mean, I've been feeling over 30 for like 5 years.
Yeah,
I just feel old and broken down since I stopped playing soccer. Pretty much, my body's just changed drastically. So like, even though I was still in my 20s, I felt like I was 44. So really, it's not that not big of a difference for me personally.
Yeah. Just the day you got to eat cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, crazy 2 weeks. Definitely a lot happening in the EPL. Think we should touch on Man City Tottenham.
Yeah, for sure.
Wildness. And we were joking how, at the start of this pod, we were talking about Kane and his performance or lack of performance of the team. And then he comes in here and just tells these three idiots on the Footy Fan podcast what he's all about.
Well, it's about time he showed up.
I don't know. Tottenham has this weird thing where they still play good against City. I mean, it happened in Champions League, 2 years ago?
Oh, in the final? Oh, no, sorry. No, the final. The semifinal? Yeah.
And now this, I don't know, whenever City plays Tottenham, I never feel as confident as when they play other teams. Like, if they were to play, Man U, I'm like, they're probably going to win. Just there's this weird thing with Tottenham, even, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean, good for Kane. Obviously Antonio Conte is doing his thing. But yeah, just very, very strange. I think they were probing a lot, but they just always looked fragile at the back. You know what I mean?
Is it weird that, like you just said, if they were to play against a side like Manchester United, they're more confident in them winning?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's because of maybe an experience level difference between Tottenham and Man U? Because even though, like on paper, you look at it, Man United still probably has better players than Tottenham does. But when you have the likes of, Kane and Son and Lloris, kind of like your 1, 2, 3 throughout the pitch.
Yeah.
Do you think they're more experienced and they bring more like grit to Tottenham than United has? Because United's more skill-based team.
It might be, and I think because Tottenham's been there and they've beaten City, maybe that gives them a little bit more belief, which is odd because, the week after they beat City, they go to Burnley and lose.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it's just this thing where they play to the level of their opposition. There are teams like that sometimes. So maybe they go to City and they're like, oh, we're gonna prep for this game, and like maybe Antonio Conte drilled them for that game. But then to go to lose to Burnley is very, very strange. Like, how can you not just put in the same performance you did to be the champions if you want to qualify for Champions League?
Oh, they're probably still celebrating that win.
Yeah.
Like, it was the 19th, and they had to play Burnley 4 days later.
Yeah.
At Turf Moor, I believe. So, like, they could have been coming down from a pretty nasty hangover for 3 or 4 days.
And I know that's the thing. Like, the hangover after you win a big game, it does exist. Yeah, but it was very strange. Like I said, when Gundogan scored, I was like, oh, this game's going to 3-1. They're going to take it to him. But just there was so much fragility at the back, like I said. There were a few instances where Kane could have had another goal, make it 3-1 early on. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I know Diaz didn't have the greatest game, which I was surprised about. Like, he had that, tried to step off to make Son offside on the first goal, which, is kind of unlike him. And then, Cancelo, had a good game going forward, but, like, defensively wasn't the greatest.
But he's not a defensive liability. Like, you would still take him over anybody else, even on the defensive
Yeah.
side of things.
Yeah, I think just in general there was just too much, and this kind of goes back to City's general problem. If they get scored on first, they do kind of go into a panic mode. It's like, we gotta score, and everyone's just like so focused on like getting the goal, where it's like then these gaping holes open up at the back, which they were all over the place against Tottenham. So it is a sense of like, you know, when they do go get scored on and things don't go according to plan, you know, maybe that's where the shape kind of loses its, you know, robustness, if you want to call it that. And, you know, they don't really have a plan B. So it's just, you know, attack more, get more of their defenders in the attacking third.
And like, but in this situation, like Kulusevski's goal in the 4th minute, it set the tone for the game, I guess, from Tottenham's standpoint. And it came out of nowhere, like you said. Like, Diaz trying to step up and saw him playing the offside trap with that pass from Kane was absolutely incredible. But the goal was scored so early that there was so much time that City still could have played their game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't have to change their style of play that much. Like, oh, like, we're behind now, we got to come back and score. We got to come back and you know, pump them and get all these goals and to try and come back. It's not like the goal was scored in the 75th minute and now they're down 1-0 with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So you just look at the shot attempts, though, from this match. 21 shots from Man City, 4 shots on target. I think that's the glaring stat that pops out to me the most. Like, obviously, the possession stats, Man City will always be there, 72% to 28. The passes, they're always going to double up on the side that they're playing against. But just the shot attempts and the shots on target, 21 shots to 4 on target. That can't be happening from a side like City.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come back and say my usual take that a striker, a pure number 9, would be the solution. I just think Tottenham showed for the first time all season how Antonio Conte wants them to play defensively, like playing tight at the back, not allowing many chances. I mean, 21 shot attempts, at least, you know, more than half of those were blocks.
Yeah.
Just by Tottenham defenders and midfielders coming back. Højbjerg playing amazing, obviously, as he always does. I just think with this kind of game, Man City had to score scrappy and had to play scrappy. As the game went on and it got tighter and the minutes started to dwindle down in the match, and we just saw Tottenham take advantage of that, and you know, all 3 goals they scored are on counterattacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they came from nothing really.
Yeah.
And that shows like how Man City is a little vulnerable at the back at times because they do like to play that high trap. Like Kane's first goal and Kulusevski's goal were on just counters, like clear cut counterattacks. And I just think they maybe did panic a little too much too fast because they aren't used to being in that situation, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Pep should have controlled them a little bit more because they kind of started running wild after a certain point.
Yeah, I thought it was like a really scrappy performance by City. They didn't play overly. They just didn't play like their usual selves. And every time they got to the final third, I think it also goes towards Tottenham's defending, where they got to the final third and they just had zero creativity whatsoever. Usually, you know, De Bruyne will come up with something or will find space at the top of the box. Like I said, the 21 shots, but having 4 on target, they just weren't creating any clear-cut chances, and it never looked like they were in a period where they were super threatening. Tottenham, on the other hand, 6 shots, 5 on target, 3 goals, super clinical.
That's efficiency right there.
Yeah. So, all in all, you know, disappointing result for City. Huge for Tottenham. But City kind of bounced back and got the win against Everton the following week, which, again, I think was a really poor display from City. And talk about scrappy goals.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Michael Keane with a blunder. I don't think I've ever seen a defender in the EPL have that much time with a ball coming towards them and then reacting that way.
It was just very strange. It's like he didn't know which foot to kick it with, and then realized he had to kick it with his right.
Yeah, it's almost like
on it.
It's like a reaction you see when someone sees a ball late. But he didn't see it late because obviously, you know, there was the 5 yards between the other player and Michael Keane when the ball was coming to him. He just went to stick out his foot, whiffed on it, and
Big whiff.
Foden just puts it away.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not giving him any like excuses, but the ball did change direction on his way to Keane.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when that happened, it slowed the ball down to a snail's pace, where
Yeah.
my daughter could have kicked that ball away. And she's
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like-
Maybe the deflection threw him off and he was off balance, and then he was gonna
It
go.
looked funny. Like,
And
like,
then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna like kick this as hard as I can," but like
it's in a
I don't want to
very-
get a own goal.
and it's
So
in a
then he
very
was caught in between-
unforgiving,
He was caught in between two minds, so just didn't really do anything.
very unforgiving spot on the pitch, like inside your own
Yeah.
6-yard box. Like that's like the one spot you can't make this kind of mistake, and he just fluffs at it. And Foden's like, "Thank you very much. Here's the goal."
Yeah,
That was what, in the 79th minute or so, like only a few
I think it
minutes
was
left.
80th minute.
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
late 80th minute.
Gross. But I mean, we can kind of segue to Everton real quick just on that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of just how their season's been playing.
Yeah,
I mean, when Lampard got appointed there, he had the match against Newcastle, I think was his first one, and it was a 3-1 loss. And I mean, they haven't looked like they're making any improvement from that point on.
Nope.
Yeah.
Really
No-
scary for him.
yeah. Now we got to worry about Everton getting relegated because like Newcastle's probably okay.
Newcastle's rolling, man. They're a freight train ready for business.
Yeah,
4 wins out of their last 5 matches, coming with a draw too, so unbeaten in 5 for the Magpies. And I mean, that Eddie Howe appointing that we called
I know. Months
before
and
the
months
week
ago.
before the hiring even happened, making us sound like some sort of geniuses. But that's also, like we said, it was Steve Bruce getting out of there when he did. It was the new ownership for Newcastle getting in there when they did. Eddie Howe getting the job, which we all saw him getting and saw him performing well at, and the investment of £80 million during the January transfer market to bring in the likes of Trippier, Chris Wood, and Guimaraes.
Yeah,
I think we still haven't pronounced got the proper pronunciation of his name yet. But these 3 impactful players who have right away shown an impact for Newcastle. Yeah, like we said, it's gonna be a tale of 2 seasons. It's gonna be before January and after January, and since that break, since basically the Christmas break and the January transfer, they've just been rolling. They're 4 points clear now of relegation. Only 5 points off of almost top 10. They're 8 points off of top 10. The likes of Brighton are slipping a little bit down the table, so they can catch them and finish in 11th, 12th place with the likes of Leicester and Crystal Palace, which we never saw happening in the first 3 or 4 months of the season.
Yeah, they're just on a freight train going up right now. It's great to see. I mean, all 3 of us were really hoping that they stayed up.
Yeah.
No one wanted to see them get relegated. Also, being a massive Eddie Howe fan, I just really hope it works out from there and he's there long term.
And we called it too. The games that they had coming up were the ones that they had to win.
Yeah.
I mean, since the transfer window kicked in January, they had an FA Cup loss to Cambridge United, which obviously would have suited them pretty well, just with getting wins under their belt against lower class sides, which is all they needed at that point, was just more wins and more experience. And then they take a draw against Watford, who's also in the relegation zone. Win against Leeds, who's right in that area as well. Beat Everton. Huge win against Villa. A draw against West Ham. And then another 2-0 win against Brentford. I mean, just what a run of success that they've had.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's been basically since January where the impact of transfer season has come in. And we were talking before the transfer season was here, we were saying how it's going to be more the top sides or the bottom sides that spend this year to try and improve their side. We didn't really see anything from the top.
No.
And we saw Burnley offload players left and right. They kind of counted their season out, basically, because they're so far down there in the table. We saw Everton try and make additions with Dele Alli and Luca Digne coming to the side. And then we've seen Newcastle. Those are like the biggest spending sides, I think. And then obviously Everton with Lampard as well coming in. Really tried to solidify their spot. And I mean, you got one team going one way, one team going the other.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, come the end of the season, Everton's down there,
I
Newcastle's
couldn't
up.
even imagine. Like, they're mad. I remember when Villa got relegated, that was like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, we won, like, not the modern Premier League, I don't think, but the past trophies, they've won those. Everton, I don't think they've ever won the Premier League.
Like prior to 92?
Yeah, I'm not
No.
sure.
I think there's only been like 5 teams that have won since 92.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think before that, Have they won? I'm not sure.
United, Arsenal, City. United, Arsenal, City,
Liverpool,
Chelsea,
Chelsea,
and
Bolton.
then
Leicester, Blackburn.
Blackburn. Not Bolton.
Not
Seven.
Blackburn.
Yeah, those
Blackburn.
teams.
7 title winners
Yeah.
in almost 30 years
Yeah.
since the dawn of the Premier League. So I mean, it's not that easy to win. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of hard.
But
that
they're
the
just
same
such a
teams
like
beat
such
each
a
other.
historic club.
Yeah.
So if they go down, like I don't even know, it'd be mayhem.
Coming up, Everton's schedule. Let's see if they have anything in their sights. FA Cup match tomorrow, the 3rd of March against Boreham Wood. Our boys, Boreham Wood. Crazy name.
him.
And then another big one between Everton and Tottenham on the Monday. I mean, I'll have to say Tottenham's favored there. Wolves, they're keeping their spot pretty strong in the top 10. Kind of slipping the results since then. They had a loss to Arsenal, which obviously is a tough match to play against nowadays. We wouldn't be saying the same thing a few months ago.
I know, crazy.
And then big Newcastle match on March 17th. That's going to be like one of the premier matches to watch, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's what I love about the Premier League as well, because you could look at the schedule and you'll say, oh, Man City versus Tottenham is going to be a massive game. I mean, that was that's a bad example.
That one was crazy.
It's actually a big game.
Yeah.
But Chelsea and Tottenham, let's say, like, oh, that's a huge game. London Derby, we got to watch that. That doesn't really mean anything now. Like, yeah, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be like a rivalry match. You're gonna watch it, but standings wise and like level of importance in the season doesn't matter that much. You look down the list, Everton Newcastle March 17th. Like, who would ever thought that would be a huge match for both sides?
Yeah.
And that's why I love the Premier League, because there's it's just like
The relegation.
the relegation battle. Sometimes it's more enticing than the actual title race for the Premier League. Like,
Yeah.
Well, these guys are playing for their careers, right?
100%. And like, just like we said before, we touched on it, the money that you get from staying in the Premier League, aside like Newcastle, doesn't really matter right now because of their influx in money. But you get so much money from just staying afloat. Staying in 16th place is like winning for a lot of these clubs.
Yeah.
So, and also just like from the fan base and like the disappointment level as well. Like if you get relegated and you're a side like Everton, you're a side like Joe said, Villa, that's detrimental to your club's history, and that's like a black eye for your, for 100 years to come. It's like, oh, in 2022 we got relegated. Like that was a black age of Everton Football Club. Like
we were the Everton team that got relegated.
Yeah, like, it was us. It was us. Like I was there. I was alive for that for that debacle of a season. And so yeah, sometimes it means more than actually winning, just staying alive.
Yeah.
Ask Sunderland how they're doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Sunderland's very detrimental for them to get relegated. I mean, hopefully not. I mean, just to touch on this game again, like I hope it's not turning into one of those seasons for Everton where just everything goes wrong, because obviously we all know the situation with Rodri during the Man City game. And I just like we were watching before how they came out and like apologized to Everton. It's like,
Well, refresh the listeners, Joe. What happened?
so City was winning 1-0 at this point. I think it was, towards the end of the game, like maybe 85th minute. And, Everton goes on an attack. I forget who it was.
It was
Richarlison, doesn't really collide with Ederson or anything, but like, Ederson makes a stop. The ball pops in the air pretty high. It comes down, bounces in front of Rodri, and he just miscalculates the bounce, so it kind of goes towards his right. And he does this thing where you kind of stick out your arm because like you can't really chest it. So he sticks out his arm and it clearly hits, his bicep. And they go to VAR and they're like, yeah, no handball. Even though like he clearly used his arm as an advantage to try and control the ball, it was definitely away from his body. Which on one level, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like it wasn't as bad as the Alexander-Arnold handball like 4 years ago against City. But it was in that ballpark of pretty obvious handball. So yeah, I mean, they go to VAR and the 3 or 4 people in the booth checking it say, yeah, no handball. They don't even call the ref to the monitor, which is very...
That's absurd.
It took 2 minutes to check, and they didn't call the ref over, which is very strange.
Well, sorry to interrupt. Usually, the ref gets called over when they want to overturn it. Usually, that's what happens. Like 9 times out of 10, when the referee gets the call over to the monitor,
Yeah.
more times than not, he comes back and changes his decision. So they must have made this call in VAR.
They're
in,
like,
in the
don't call
booth
him
saying
over.
like, no, we're good. Like this
Yeah,
is not a PK.
Which, yeah, I mean...
Which I think we're all in agreement that it was definitely.
It definitely was.
I think it was.
And obviously they were livid, and like I said, the PGMOL, whatever it's called.
What was that stand for? Pigmol?
I forget.
The Premier League Gaming or something?
PGMOL.
Premier League Gaming Commission?
It's the Professional Game Match Official Boards. Apologized to Frank Lampard over handball and admits VAR got wrong decision. Which, on one level, if you're Lampard, you're like, okay, well, that points might be the difference between us staying up or not.
Yeah, I'd almost not have them tell me.
Yeah, like what? Like, what's that gonna do?
That just adds insult to injury. It's
like what do you mean you got it wrong? Like you were in the booth looking at it from every angle for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Who else looked at it, and why? How are you not on the same level?
It's like
And-
go ahead.
The one guy I showed you, the guy said, he's like that's insult to injury. Every single football person on planet Earth knew it was a handball, except the 3 people in the booth looking at it. So,
Who, at the end of the day,
whose
job it is. Yeah.
Whose job it is.
I was
So
going to
it's
say,
like,
it reminds you of like Step Brothers when they say, so we're not getting the boat. We have to get jobs. And we have to move out of the house. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
Lampard's like, so it's not a handball. It's not a penalty shot. I might get relegated. What the hell happened? Like, you have to come back and tell me now that you're making the mistake and it should have actually been a handball and like we actually could have had a chance to draw the match with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I'd rather not even be told that.
Yeah.
Like, just don't tell me.
Yeah.
Like, make your decision, like, write it up somewhere, put it, like, in a press release, like, actually, don't even put it in a press release because we'll get it. We'll see it.
Yeah.
Just bury it, like,
Yeah.
deep down in a filing cabinet and, like, don't ever show anybody
Yeah.
your decision.
Yeah, because obviously massive point for Everton if they were tied up at that point and hold up for the
huge.
tie. And how, like we said, they're 1 point above the relegation zone could be disastrous.
And, on the flip side, that could even add, more pressure on the top of the table with
huge implications.
with
for the
Liverpool
Tyrants.
still rolling and, like, just not looking back and, turning out positive results all the time. And then City could have lost a match, drawn a match. Liverpool winner of 5 straight. Like, only 6 points back now. That gap could have been 5.
Yeah.
And Liverpool has a game in hand. So, I mean, Everton could have done Liverpool a favor, which, depending where you live in Liverpool, I don't know, it might swing you one way or another for your fan base, but I don't know.
Yeah, very, very concerning for Everton. Concerning for the VAR missed call.
And again,
we don't
like
get
how
too many
many
of those.
how many episodes have we had where VAR is like almost like our main topic?
Too many.
Unfortunately.
I mean, which is strange. Like, it's literally every angle you could ever want.
I
looking
know.
at a very obvious decision, and that's the crutch of VAR. Things like this, where it's so obvious, and people are looking at the exact same replay that everyone's looking at, and everyone knows it's handball. And it's like, what? Why did you think it's not? That's a very concerning part.
I've never seen more hand to ball than ball to hand than Rodri doing what he did. Like he had his arms
Just
at his side in a running
Yeah.
position, and once he got to the ball, he moved his arm, opened it, and the ball hit his arm. Like it didn't come off a deflection, it didn't change the angle. He ran to the ball and opened up his arm to give it a hug, and then caught the ball. Not caught the ball. He hit the ball with his arm.
His look after too to the ref.
Oh, it's
so
like
guilty.
the most ashamed puppy
Just
look of all
he's like-
time.
he didn't even he didn't like wave his finger saying like no where it hit him. He just kind of like glanced at the ref.
It's like when you come home and your chocolate cake's missing, and you look at your dog and he's covered in brown like fudge.
Yeah.
It's like,
You know what's-
did you do that?
You
No,
know what's
it wasn't
crazy
me.
though? I saw it. I'm like, they're probably not going to give a PK for some reason. Like just because it's, and I love City. Like to be honest, they're one of my favorite teams to watch. I hope they win. But I just knew it's like because it's City and it would be a massive controversy.
was at Goodison Park too.
I know.
Those stones you have as an official
my
and
God.
as like the VAR people involved to not give it at Goodison Park.
Yeah.
When it's that clear cut, man, they must have had like a security team evacuate them
Well,
from the stadium.
I mean, on one level, they're probably more upset with VAR because like they didn't give. I forget who the ref, the bald guy.
yeah, I know.
They didn't give him the chance, so he's like, I couldn't really see it. Which, granted, maybe he couldn't because like he was far away from Rodri and didn't have the right angle, so maybe couldn't really tell if it hit his chest. Which, fair enough. Like, you know, if he was far enough back, it might have been tough on the field. But to not call him over,
I guess who the referee was because it looked familiar.
it was that guy.
I'm so bad with names.
he probably, I don't know, he probably would have given the handball. To be totally honest,
Yeah.
Everton received apology. Yeah, we're just reading an article on City.
Paul Tierney.
Yeah.
Paul Tierney.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. You know, I've never seen him have any really bad games as a ref.
I've
No,
seen a
he
couple.
wasn't it.
I've seen a couple.
That wasn't.
That wasn't it. Oh, was he the VAR official then?
No, it was him.
Was he a ref?
Yeah.
What did it say here on the article?
Yeah, it said Paul Tierney.
Match
Missed it.
referee.
Yeah, Paul
Okay.
Tierney. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I remember it being him.
Chris Kavanaugh. He's a goof. This guy's a goof. A1 goof.
Who's
He's had some blunders, man. Even like not just saying as a Chelsea supporter, but like just in general from watching him. He's done some goofy stuff. He kind of looks like Clive Owen. Look at this face. Is this the face of a guy you want making a big official decision?
Oh, I've always liked him as a
that
ref.
guy? That guy made that decision.
I'm surprised.
He was the VAR. He was the VAR.
I don't know. He's actually pretty good. That's aren't there like three people? Maybe he had like someone in his ear. Like, no man.
Well, that's,
Maybe you had Everton fans being like, "No, like City have to win this game, so Liverpool don't win the EPL."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's some dirty football right
Could
there.
you imagine?
Like you want your team to lose.
Someone in the booth is like, "No, we're an Everton fan." Like, don't give it. We'd rather go down than have Liverpool win.
Man, that's some salty fan base. If you could,
That
that's
probably
how you are.
didn't
Like,
happen. He probably just really screwed up.
That exists though, eh?
Probably not in the VAR booth.
No. Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying like with fan bases, it's like if our rival can lose, if we lose, like we'll lose.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
like,
who-
like if Everton was more comfortable in the league, like let's say they were like 10th and they were just chilling,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, we'll lose this
Well,
game.
because
Like,
I heard
it's Liverpool's
when
win.
back in the glory Leicester years, before they won the title, that season, I know Leicester was playing Chelsea last game of the season,
Yes,
and I
yeah.
think Chelsea was like,
No,
Chelsea-
Chelsea was playing Tottenham.
Chelsea needed a win to get into
Ch-
Champions League, I think.
no,
No, Chelsea need to beat Tottenham for Leicester to win the EPL.
yeah, but I think Chelsea was playing Leicester the last game of the season. Because Leicester won before the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So-
Joe, I know what you're going to say.
So like Chelsea, I forget who. I don't know. Was it Conte or maybe Hazard? Was like, yeah, like if we have to lose, so Tottenham don't win the title, we'll probably lose to Leicester or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of hope that doesn't come out like in the media.
I mean, it would have been interesting to see if they actually did just put out like a very weak team and said like, yeah, don't try too hard,
Don't try to win.
don't try to win.
Well, it depends who you're playing. I mean, if you're going against like a Burnley, then like you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
You can put your C side against Burnley, and they may still come victorious.
yeah.
Speaking of Chelsea, though, they just came off I'd say crushing defeat against Liverpool
Crushing to say the
in
least.
the final of the Carabao Cup. Some questionable. I'm not even gonna say VAR calls because actually, like VAR got all the decisions
Do we
correct.
have? Maybe we'll just watch the replays,
Of that
live
match.
reactions. I like doing those.
Yeah,
I didn't see the in-game stuff. I saw the PKs. That was insane.
Yeah, so I'm typing Carabao Cup and EFL comes up.
yeah. I mean, from what I saw on all the calls, like every VAR call was right. Was hoping for more, maybe discipline from Chelsea, because every offside wasn't even that close of an offside call.
No,
Yeah.
they were legit.
Yeah, like Havertz you're like standing a yard offside.
Yeah.
Trying to play a small
The
rally
Lukaku one was pretty tight. That kind of led up to his goal, but I think correct call from VAR.
I think if you go to the Zone on YouTube, they might have it.
Were they showing the match?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
were. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's
They
where I
were.
watched
Yeah.
it today.
Or you can get those little like mini.
I think actually here I got the zone here.
No, me and Sans were talking like Kepa, like getting subbed in.
Yeah, I got some talking points about that.
Could you doesn't save a single one and then misses? That's like the worst.
Well, he's the PK specialist. We have to bring him in. Mendy just had an all-star match. Like him and it wasn't even Allison. It was
No, the young guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's his name? We're clearly an EPL podcast here, just major prepped. What was his name? He kind of looks like an old school, like British guy, like from like the 1400s.
Yeah, like a Peaky Blinder.
No, not even like way back. I'm talking. He looks like
Kelleher.
Yeah,
Kelleher, yeah. Jesus.
Kaomin.
I think he's Irish. I'm just saying that. I don't know if he's Irish or not.
Kaomin's pretty.
Where do I find it?
It was kind of a joke about how many times Tuchel celebrated during this game.
Oh,
Because
Of all the offsides, yeah.
And then just the chances, though, that Chelsea missed as well. Like Mason Mount should have had at least 2.
Yeah, Havertz.
Yeah.
We got a 9-minute package here. All right, we'll watch this. Oh, I can't watch it on here. DAZN's weird like that. I have to go on YouTube on DAZN. You can't act like I can't because I'm on my computer AirPlaying to the TV. They don't give you the rights to AirPlay from DAZN onto your TV.
Crazy.
It's really weird. I have to go through YouTube and then go to DAZN.
Interesting.
I believe.
I wonder why they would do that.
Protect the rights. Right there.
Right there.
Yeah. Boom. Betway.
That should work. Joe, no free ads.
Win $30,000 this hockey season.
Wait, what?
We do not endorse or
no gambling.
yeah.
It's bad for
Oh
you.
my god! So my cousin Liam, he did like a pro line kind of thing. It wasn't pro line; it was another betting source, and he did like a legit bet of like $5 or something for Premier League matches on last weekend.
Yeah.
And he did like Man City and Crystal Palace both have to score. And that's all it was. Ronaldo had to score for United. Arsenal and Brentford both had to score goals, like for him to win his thing. So it wasn't just picking the winner straight up. And then he did another bet where it reversed everything that you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he said like Chelsea and Palace have to score, so now they have to not score.
Mm.
And so the odds are really jacked up.
Yeah.
So his first bet was like $5, and his payout was maybe like, I think it was like $1,000 or something was the payout.
Yeah.
His next bet on the flip side was like 18 cents, and it was like $35,000 payout if he gets everything right. And he was closer to winning the $35,000 than the $1,200,
Really
just because of the way that the games turned out. He was like freaking out. He's like Ronaldo can't score. Like he better not score,
yeah.
which he didn't.
Yeah.
But there was also no goals for that game.
Yeah.
With Leeds and United, and that match finished 4-2 in favor of United.
That's tough.
It was just really funny for him like to be tracking it the way he was.
Yeah. Like look at
this save.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Yeah, Mendy
Mendy's
definitely
kind of huge.
Yeah, I mean, him coming back from the African Cup of Nations, this is clearly his biggest match involved. And Kepa did a substantial job too. It's not like when he was back as a number one goalie when Mendy was away, it's not like they didn't win matches because of him.
Mm-hmm. He was playing well.
He was playing really well. So I understand maybe why you want him to play.
Oh, what a save.
That's not his countryman right there.
I don't understand it, though. You're in a final and you're the goalie and you've been playing as outstanding as you are. Like,
that's what I mean.
finish
Like
the game.
when
Right?
if you're high on like confidence is probably the most important thing during PKs. So if you've been crushing it all game and then you're gonna put in Kepa who's cold, like what?
Well, again, he's done it time and time again where he comes in like that.
Yeah.
And he's proven. I mean, you want to talk about the one with Maurizio Sarri when he didn't come out of the game.
When he didn't come out for PKs. Mount should have scored this.
Yeah.
This sitter. 44th minute. Just
Yeah,
you got to put those away.
Yeah, the first half wasn't too much involved, but it should have been at least one goal per side.
Yeah.
With the Sadio Mane miss.
This
and
one.
like the big saves by Mendy and then Mason Mount here.
Well,
Pulisic had a good chance too. This was a nice ball. This he should have scored. Like
Also
Just
great.
by
He just
himself, hit the post.
couldn't get
Look
out
how
of his
big this is played at Wembley. Look how big that net looks.
I
Yeah.
know. At Wembley, they look massive.
Because they pull it back so far,
Yeah.
like on the corners there, like when they use like the that wire
Mhm.
retention in the back corner to make the box nets, they make them so big at Wembley.
Yeah. Look huge.
Literally the world's biggest net, and you're 5 feet away and you miss.
Yeah. That was offside though.
But this was pretty tight though.
So this one, they called it offside, but I think they also called it a foul on Van Dijk. It was offside. It was offside and a foul, or one or the other. They couldn't make up their mind, so I think they called it one.
I think probably a
I can
foul?
understand the foul because Van Dijk was holding
yeah.
Reece
Maybe that
James.
was
Reece
it.
James back, and Mane
Yeah.
went around him. But I do think Van Dijk, his entire left leg was just offside.
Well, I don't think they'd call it offside because Van Dijk doesn't interfere with the play except for his foul.
But that's why they called it.
Yeah,
they made
that
it,
makes sense.
They made a notion to say it that it's because not necessarily because he's involved in the goal scoring play, but it's because his
his action.
effort, his action of keeping James back while he was offside, led to the goal creation. So I mean, that's another.
I don't know soccer rules anymore.
That's another situation where VAR.
I honestly don't.
It's another situation where VAR just kind of makes
Yeah.
it up on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was pretty clearly offside.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea scored 3 goals this game, and they lost 0-0.
They lost 0-0. Yeah.
Well, they did.
Sounds
Yeah,
right.
this one is clearly
They
offside.
did. They lost 0-0.
Yeah, Havertz is the only guy on side there.
Like, get on side, bro. Nice ball, though.
Timo Werner.
Unlucky.
Werner, actually, I can't talk much about it. They had a big FA Cup match today against Luton Town.
Boo.
Chelsea going down early against the
The Lutz.
lower end side there, and Werner actually played pretty well, surprisingly, scoring the equalizer and setting up Lukaku for the winner with 10 minutes to play.
Good for him. Love to see it.
All he wants to do is earn your trust as a Chelsea fan.
He's trying, but he's got to try harder.
Yeah, and then going into extra time.
These I didn't see.
Yeah, this
Actually-
one was tight. That was really tight.
That he looked on. I can't believe he was off.
Finally, a good finish though from Lukaku too.
Yeah, finally scores.
I'm surprised that was called on the field though. Like that is
that looks
That-
so on. Like,
Yeah,
that looks very
I think
Van
it
Dijk-
is
look
was probably his shoulder.
Look at Van Dijk.
Madness. Obviously, they reviewed it, but ooh,
Another
what what was this?
Offside again.
this was very clearly offside.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Like he's just
3
like,
goals from
watch,
Chelsea.
He's just gonna go and he's gonna go stand offside.
what are you
Look at
doing?
He's just chilling.
Yeah, I mean you can't really like look at those replays. You're like, well, he's
Tuchel's fifth celebration.
Tuchel's like,
of the
what
game.
the heck?
Still no goals.
Yeah.
I liked how in these replays they showed every single PK,
Yeah,
not the first, the
The
third, and
the
last
first,
one.
the fifth, and like Kepa's.
Yeah,
Some
these
nice goals.
Yeah,
though.
They're
these,
all-
these PKs were
they're-
these were good.
Kepa and that was dirty from Fabinho.
Rabona or whatever it's called.
Oh,
That was
wasn't very
if
good. That wasn't very good.
if he keeper dove the right with it, that would have went in.
Lukaku?
This was nuts.
Lukaku?
Look,
Yeah.
look, Kepa's standing on that side. He shoots it. It still
Look
goes
at
in.
the stare down from Van
Everyone
Dijk.
watch Van Dijk's PK against Kepa. That is, if you're a PK specialist, you should save that. You know,
Yeah.
he shot it.
So again, as people don't know, in the 128th minute, 2 minutes before
Jeez.
the end of the extra time and before the shootout, Tuchel pulls Mendy out of the net, puts Kepa in, who hasn't played all game, and because he's a quote PK specialist, Chelsea would, spoiler alert, go on to lose this 11-10 on penalty shots, with Kepa not stopping one single PK. So I mean, you say PK specialist lightly.
Yeah,
Mm.
just every PK gets scored.
That one was
very
not good.
Yeah, that could have been dicey.
Yeah.
Just went for power down the middle.
Rudiger. That was not good either. That's what I mean. All the bad PKs that keep didn't guess right. That wasn't good.
Well, these are all the
Yeah, all the
extras.
That
Yeah,
one that
that's
was
a nice
good.
one.
decent. Yeah. Okay, these are all the people that did not expect to take a PK.
Yeah, that, like so many times if the keeper would have guessed right on these.
Werner.
Ooh,
Leave it to Timo for having the tightest one too.
actually.
Harvey Elliott, shout out Harvey Elliott coming back, 18-year-old coming off that nasty leg injury.
Yeah, good to see him back.
Thiago Silva buries this one. That's nice.
Boom.
The experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was close.
Yeah. They should. Someone should have saved one of these.
The pressure that was mounting on this one.
I know.
Yeah. Chalaba.
The youngster stepping up. And he buries it.
Ooh, I don't.
Yeah.
Not very good
It's
either.
No.
it's interesting to see like their body language after they go.
Callahan. This is so amazing.
Kelleher.
He looks like a friar
Callahan.
from like the 1400s.
Yeah, that's what it is. Friar.
That's what I was trying to
That
think.
was
Nice
decent.
PK.
Yeah.
Pretty high.
And then kept it lined up
He
for a
doesn't
goal
even
kick.
take his time. He just goes. He's like, whoop,
Just
bam.
like-
Skies it.
How
like-
poetic.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like just
One of the worst penalty shots of all time. And one of the craziest shootouts of all time. It's only fitting the PK specialist is the one that blows the blunder for Chelsea. Launches one through the uprights. It's good from 65 yards away.
I
The
can't.
Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl.
I
Yeah,
can't
that
believe
was,
how high it went.
yeah.
Some say it's still coming down.
Just leans back, skies it over the net.
If you want to see like how not to take any kind of shot of all time, just look at this.
Yeah,
And,
that
like,
was a goal kick.
It's textbook not lean over the ball. It's
Yeah.
textbook not know where you're shooting. I think he closed his eyes. I don't know if they have the other angle of the shot, but he just absolutely torches it into the third row at Wembley.
Boom.
PK specialist, everyone. PK specialist. So that was Chelsea in Liverpool on the
Yeah.
weekend.
Good
Carabao
to see.
Cup, one of Chelsea's like main sponsors. Not their first time that they've been in the final, but I think one of the first times they've lost. I think they've won it twice already, or 3 times maybe. I don't know like what their credentials are to even get into the Carabao Cup, because you already have, the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not totally
I-
sure on that.
I don't know if this is only the top 2 divisions or maybe 3 divisions, and the FA Cup is 5 divisions. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, it's just another cup,
Another trophy.
another trophy, some more silverware for the clubs.
It was
Trying
good to
go
see
for.
Kelleher kind of close that out though for Liverpool. He was playing really well for them through the whole cup, and just to go and be the guy that scores to get your team to win.
See, I like that because we talked before how, like FA Cup or Carabao Cup, they're becoming less and less coveted. So more teams have been more of the top teams have been playing their reserves or some of the younger guys, but then once they get to like the nitty gritty of like the tournament, their big guys step up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Mo Salah might not have like ever played. Actually, he didn't play this game, but let's say Lukaku, for example. Let's say he doesn't play the first like 8 games of the tournament. Chelsea gets to the semi-final, final. He's in both games.
Yeah.
A lot of times goalkeepers too. Like Callahan could have played, all the matches and then lead up to the semi-final, and then Alisson gets like the nod for the final.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they kept him the entire time, I don't know if Alisson was injured or not in this match. I don't know if he was even like available. I can't
He
see
was.
here.
He was. I think because I saw an article about like what he said when Klopp told him that he's going to go with Callahan for this game because he's played all
he
the other
meant-
ones.
Okay, yeah, he was there. He was there on the bench. So
Yeah.
I mean, just to get the nod to the youngster, Gallagher's only 23 years old. Yeah, from Cork, Ireland. Shout out Cork. That's the Ryan family right there. It's me mom's side.
Okay.
They're from Cork County. Yeah, crazy name.
Kaomin.
Kaiomin?
Kaomin.
Caoimhin for anyone listening.
Say it again.
Kaimin.
I don't know. Where's like the phonetic sounding? Sometimes they
Phonetic.
Is that what it's called? Phonetic?
Irish.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah,
right
that's how you pronounce it. Kivalenirun.
What?
Help.
That's very Irish.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
like Gaelic.
Oh, 23 years old, stepping up. Really good to see.
Liverpool is the only club that he's played for. Signed there in 2015 as a 16-year-old. And he's made 4 appearances in the Premier League, and then obviously some other matches like for domestic cups. And it looks like he's going to start being Ireland's number 1, possibly,
Yeah.
in the in the future of Irish football. So that's pretty cool for him. I mean, to be that young and to be like coming out of nowhere, like Ireland, even though they are part of like Britain and like right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not part of Britain, but they're right there next to Britain.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many like big Irish players. Like there was like obviously like Robbie Keane was obviously huge.
That's it.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
Some guy named Seamus probably. But I mean, like for him to be out of club like Liverpool, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Andy Robertson with Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been like their best player now for a couple of years, and he's like 24 and he's their captain. So they're just gonna build the entire team around him.
Yeah.
Build the whole team around your left back.
Which is funny too, is you can't like build a team because it's like it's just
really
it's your
can't.
country. It's like whoever you have available.
Yeah.
Can't really build a team, let alone build a team around a left back.
That's kind of funny, eh? It's like you can look at so many
I mean, really,
clubs and it's like, yeah, these clubs have great players, but like they're all from the same country or something, or it's like they're all scattered. So like their club, like Ryan Giggs is a huge example for United for as long as he played there for. I don't think Giggs ever played in one major tournament with Wales.
Yeah.
Because they're just never good enough to qualify.
Yeah.
And then it was until like Gareth Bale showed up, and like Aaron Ramsey was there, and who's that young kid now on Leeds? He was on United too.
Yeah. James.
Daniel James.
Daniel
He's in
James.
Wales too. So it wasn't until like this influx of players until they started like actually qualifying for tournaments. And Giggs is like the best Welsh player to ever live. He never played anything international.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And I think Mourinho said it, which I totally agree with him. Where to him, Champions League is a bigger trophy than the World Cup. I mean, bigger is kind of meaningless. I mean, what exactly is a big trophy?
Like more meaningful to win.
But I think in just terms of like competitiveness, like I think it's a lot harder to win Champions League than World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Like what if
every top team can fill any gap in their team mostly, whereas a country, if you don't have a good center back that's in your country, you don't have a good center back.
Yeah.
What if this is like crazy hypothetical? What if they were to make the Champions League final every 2 years instead of just every single year?
Probably get more hype.
Would be more coveted, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it comes around less often.
Yeah.
Because some of like the biggest downfalls of the World Cup is age restrictions and age limits.
Yeah.
So you could have somebody, let's say, God, I can't think off the top of my head. Someone's like in their mid 20s and like they're really good, and they make a World Cup side for France. Let's say 4 years later, they're 29. Maybe they get injured and they can't play. It's wait another 4 more years, and you're 33. It's like you've played in one major tournament over an 8-year span, and like your career's just gone now.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Ronaldo has been able to like do what he's done since 2003, whatever it is, 2004 maybe his first appearance for Portugal. Like he's gonna be playing in 5 World Cups possibly.
Yeah.
Which is like not many people can say that.
No. It's super cool for him
if they qualify.
If they qualify, which hopefully they don't, because if they do, that means Italy does not qualify.
Ooh. That's gonna be a shot in the head.
Yeah.
If that comes around.
At least we'll have Canada.
Canada will be there.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Then we'll have to make a decision about who to root for.
Yeah, if it's Canada and Italy in the World Cup, what do we do?
I would still hope Italy wins. I think I've just done it like it's just programmed into me. It'd feel like weird. It's like, oh, Canada scored. It's like, no, he scored against.
Okay, well,
scored against Italy. Not
well,
Canada.
if they're not playing against each other, like you're obviously going for Canada, like 100%.
Well, yeah, if they're not like playing each other.
Okay, Canada, Italy final.
Italy. Probably.
I don't know. Be like very weird. Probably Italy. It'd be a spur of the moment thing. I'd see like, how do I feel when Italy scores? Oh, happy.
Is this good?
Is this good?
Does this feel good?
Get like
I
one
feel
of
like-
those sew like a shirt together, like a half Italy, half Canada shirt,
Yeah.
like sew it at the seam.
Yeah, it's like when you have a parent and they sew like both jerseys together when
Yeah.
both their kids are on opposite teams.
You could do
It's a
that.
thing.
I don't know. What about you?
I'm letting you guys answer first because I'm trying to weigh my options. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, at heart, it'll probably be Italy because the Canadian soccer fandom is like so new.
Yeah.
Where I don't have like as much of a history and as much happiness and as much despair that Italy has given me.
Yeah.
So I'm not as attached to it emotionally.
Yeah.
But the fact that like we're born here, we live here. Like, we should go for Canada. Like,
I mean,
I
thinking
guess.
about it, I think like if it was in the final. Actually, now that I think about it, any other game in the World Cup, I would want Italy to beat Canada. Like if it was like round robin, it's like or not even round robin. If it was like the round of 16, it's like I hope Italy wins because they could go on to win the tournament. Whereas like Canada's gonna play Germany in the next round and get like crushed. And if it was the final though, I would probably want Canada to win.
over Italy?
Yeah, I think.
So you're going to change allegiances like midway through the tournament?
Well, no, because I think it's like, if Canada, it would be the same thing with Leicester. Like, if Canada wins the World Cup, that's like madness for soccer, just in general, and it'd be like sweet. You know, it would probably be the same way if like, not if they were playing Italy, but like if even the U.S. got to the final against someone, it'd be like, I hope the U.S. wins because it'd be good for like North American soccer.
I'd probably still go for the other team, whoever it is. Let's go Ghana.
I don't know. So I think if Italy was playing Canada in the World Cup final, I'd probably want Canada to win because that would be nuts.
Okay, so we just had the Olympics come and go. Who'd you go for in the Olympics?
I was going for Canada.
Yeah.
On all the things. You know.
What if it's Summer Olympics and it's Canada, Italy in the soccer final?
For the like I said, I think in the final I would want
for the Olympics though.
I mean, for the Olympics, I don't even like.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't care less about.
Honestly,
soccer
probably
Olympics.
Canada because like it would be like Italy's U21 team, and it's like
Yeah, it's
okay,
the same, right? I think they can have like 3 overage players.
Yeah,
I think Aguero
Yeah.
played 1 year overage
yeah.
Oh, he was there.
for
Older player?
Argentina.
Yeah.
This is like years ago. I think it was like U20. I think it's U23 is where they cap it, and then he was like 28, and like Aguero just like played.
Yeah.
Like, that's so unfair.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I would want Italy to beat Canada in any game except for the final. I would want Canada to win.
Yeah, well, let's see if it's going to happen. Towards the end of this month, Canada can book their ticket. I mean, I think it's already pretty much like written off.
Yeah, I don't
That we're
think
gonna get there?
mathematically, but probably they're good.
Yeah, we're waiting for the mathematic, like, hurrah,
Mm-hmm.
or they can't not qualify.
I think if they beat Jamaica, they should be good.
Yeah, I think it's just one match at the end of the week, or at the end of the month, sorry. I think the 28th, 26th. Again, so prepared.
Canada's playing Jamaica 27th.
27th, that the match?
Sunday, March 27th.
Ooh. Live stream?
Maybe.
Live watch of that match? Where are they playing it?
I think in Toronto.
Stop. No, it's
Yeah.
Costa Rica this game. They can win this game. I think if they win this game against Costa Rica on the 24th, then it's donezo.
Yeah, I think it depends what happens with the other
okay.
teams. So
Yeah.
I hate how everything depends.
yeah.
Everything depends.
I just want to like celebrate 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the Jamaica-Canada game on Sunday, March 27th.
Hmm.
That could be the clincher. The mathematical clincher.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hope they do it.
God, that'd be cool.
Well, I mean, they'll probably go through.
I know.
let's be
Like,
serious.
we've been first place like in the CONCACAF standings basically since they kicked off in September or whatever it was.
Well, I think we were third or fourth for a little while, but then we had those big games against the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah, beating Mexico in Edmonton was huge. I mean, obviously beating the U.S. is like our biggest rival.
Yeah.
Having that victory in Hamilton, the last time Canada played at home, obviously again huge, massive. But I think the top 3 are still going to be who we think they are with Canada, U.S., and Mexico.
Yeah.
I just think the way that Canada's done it is crazy. Like, it's not like we're in like the 3rd place spot and we have to battle out against Panama or Costa Rica, whoever's in like that 4th place. It's not like we're trying to get into the playoff. It's not like we're scrounging and like we're drawing matches that we should be winning and we're like losing against some shitty teams. Like, it's just been like a dominant performance.
Very, very good to see.
And like, it's getting like worldwide recognition too. Like, other articles and other countries are like reporting this stuff with Canada. Like, we made the biggest leap in the world rankings
Hmm.
2021, we scored the most goals out of any country, like including England and France and all those guys. Brazil, we scored the most goals out of any team trying to qualify for the World Cup. We arguably have like one of the best left backs in the world, like in our country.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan David just leading Lille to the title last year in Ligue 1, like beating out the likes of PSG.
Yep.
Like just across the board, man. Like we're just killing it.
Yeah. Just the fact that we haven't had any losses, really solid goal differential. Canada's making a name for the country for soccer here, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully it just keeps picking up momentum and it just like grows and grows and grows, and this kind of is a catalyst for that growth in Canada to give opportunities. Because I've said it before, where before if you were a soccer player in Canada, you didn't really have a hope of doing anything super significant unless you took the chance and went overseas, because the MLS still wasn't a big thing.
No.
With the MLS growing, it helps, but now you can live in Canada and have a hope of going to play at the World Cup, which before was just not a reality. So now you have all these young kids who can think, one day I can play on the Canada team and make the World Cup. So it'll only help the sport.
And I mean, even like talking about also like with MLS and like obviously not being like what the Premier League is or anything, making a base salary, the lowest you can make, it looks like, for an MLS player is $63,000 a year American.
Yeah, it's enough.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, it's not I don't know, Ronaldo money. It's not Messi money.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to play a sport, you're playing a child's game.
You're playing a game.
You're playing a game, and you can make a career out of it, making upwards of 63 to 70,000. Looks like there's like other compensations you can get with like bonuses and whatnot, plus in your endorsement deals, plus everything's paid for wherever you go.
Yeah, all your expenses paid.
So you're making $63K a year American, which translates to what, like 85 us, 85 Canadian. That's not bad.
No, definitely not bad.
Yeah.
So
Or
you
just
have
Javier Hernandez.
Yeah, Chicharito.
Yeah.
And Higuain making the likes of $6 million, 5.1 per year. This number is going to jump drastically come summertime when Lorenzo Insigne hops into the TFC Red. The highest paid player now is Chicharito Hernandez making $6 million. I think Insigne is going to make 11. It's almost double what he's making, what the next highest guy would be making, which is wild. But again, like you look at these numbers, and to us, it's big money. Like $6 million a year is a lot, but in the world of like North American sport, Steph Curry in basketball makes $40 million a year.
Yeah, like basketball and baseball are like insane. Even hockey, I think it's a lot.
Hockey, like the highest paid guys are like 12 to 13.
Okay.
Like per year. There's not many players that are like that. There's only a couple maxed out players.
Okay.
Because there's salary cap in hockey.
Oh yeah, they have like a major salary cap.
Yeah, I mean there's salary cap in all sports except for baseball, but the number, like the amounts in basketball, the amounts in football are so much higher than what hockey is. Okay. I think the hockey cap's like around 80, and like basketball is like 200 or something. And there's only like 8 guys. There's only 10 guys that really matter in basketball.
Yeah.
Like it's so wild when you look at it.
Your team's so small.
There's 25 guys on a hockey team, and you have to have all those guys under an $80 million salary cap. There's like 12 in basketball, and the cap's like 200 million or something. That's why you can get Steph Curry making 40 million.
Yeah,
and be on the same team with another guy making 35 million a year for 2 players.
And those 2 players make a much bigger impact than 2 players on any other team.
Yeah, so crazy.
When you have 5 guys playing.
There's also like, there's other things you can like get around. There's like luxury tax where it's like you pay more than the salary cap limit, but you have to pay tax on that extra amount.
Okay.
So if you're an owner who's like willing to do that, then you can just you can fly past the cap limit.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay a lot more money, but then you can just get that much better of players.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, man.
Crazy. But yeah, I mean, if you're, I think any kid that's looking to play soccer, if you can just make a living doing what you want to do and play.
If someone told me I can make $63,000 a year, or sorry, 80, let's just call it Canadian dollars, $85,000 a year playing soccer.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like,
I'm in.
Of course I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Make a 10-year career out of that. 20 years old to, you'll probably go to school for 4 years, so you'll be 22 when you leave. Play from 22, 23 to like 35. Oh, how much money is that? I don't know. That's a good living.
Like
12 years
like-
ish. What, like 800, like
Or
almost
close to
a
a
million.
Yeah, almost $1 million.
No, it's not that much actually. Like when you think about it, it's a lot, but over a 10-year span.
I mean, it's like you're gonna
That's like $100,000.
you're gonna have another job that's probably gonna pay you
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the same.
I don't know. I think that's pretty sweet though. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's all to play a game, really. Very cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we can go the entire podcast without mentioning what's happening overseas in Europe right now.
Yep.
The whole impact of Russia and Ukraine. We're seeing it in more ways than just one. Obviously, the humanitarian impact is huge, and with that comes a lot of other responsibilities and a lot of other sanctions that are occurring now with Russia and other countries and other organizations put in towards Russia. We're seeing a lot of sponsorships pull out of different sports. Like I said, Gazprom. I was talking to you guys earlier. Gazprom, the big oil company in Russia, is pulling out of some sponsorships with the likes of Red Star Belgrade and Schalke in Bundesliga. Hockey, CCM, a huge hockey company, pulling out of their deals with all Russian players like Ovechkin. And they're just I think they're just stepping up and saying we're not going to deal with this stuff. We're not going to let our brand be associated with what's happening. And I think the biggest, impact in the world of football is Roman Abramovich, the Chelsea owner, being basically forced to sell the club. He's been there for over 20 years, seen countless trophies and EPL titles, Champions League titles. Huge success, obviously, since he's taken over with his, billionaire Russian money coming in.
Yeah.
Which, of course, I'm going to reap the benefits of. Of course, I'm going to say, hell yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
But now with everyone just being, under the microscope and all their finances being looked at and their background history and their involvement with Russia, people are kind of getting trigger happy with, cutting ties and cutting loose. It's like I mentioned, Abramovich, looking to sell the team. It looks like he's invested over £1.5 billion into the club since he's been there. And he's setting a value of Chelsea at £3 billion. £3 billion. And he's come out and made a statement saying that, I don't have any ties with Putin. I don't have any ties with the Russian government. He's just trying to save face, I think, and kind of get on top of things. And what he's trying to say is that whatever profit comes from the sale of Chelsea, all money will be donated to victims of war in Ukraine. I don't know if it's a certain charity or it's just going to go to everyone, kind of like a Red Cross kind of thing, like just sending money and sending aid over. It's kind of a black eye in the history of Chelsea that this is kind of what it's come to and how it has unfolded really quickly and really kind of all at one time. But I mean, I can look at his tenure there as owner as a huge success for the club.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from what he's done and been able to provide for Chelsea. But that being said, I don't want to say politics are politics, but he's trying to get out of there just to save his name, it looks like.
Yeah.
As well as many other Russian owners are doing in Russian companies and organizations, trying to save money if they can, trying to save their reputations. I don't think this would be the first or last, withdrawal from a league by an owner, but he's probably the biggest one right now, coming out as early as he is, saying okay, I'm done selling the team. I can't be associated basically anymore with the world of football.
Yeah, and it is sad to see because he's been there for as long as I can remember, even watching Chelsea, seeing him in the stands all the time, all the Chelsea games. And it's sad that he, this is a situation that kind of forces him to sell the club when, he probably doesn't want to. But no, we've talked about it, a lot, whereas things that are much more important than football. And I think people being safe from war and having peace in your country, not worrying about being invaded is definitely one of those things. So definitely all our thoughts and prayers with everyone in Ukraine. It's just crazy. Never thought we'd see something like this in our day. It's on one hand, it's sad in a sense where this is getting so much attention, and you have situations like of Israel, Palestine, what's been going on in the Middle East, where you have countries like or you have places like United Arab Emirates, which are shooting down missiles coming to them on a regular basis because they're allied with the U.S. So, it is good that this is getting all the attention that it's getting, because it's I think also highlighting that there's this kind of issue going on in a lot of different places. It's just unprecedented for a European country to get invaded in this modern age. It's just something we haven't seen before.
Yeah. I mean, I won't name names, but I personally know people from work in Ukraine, so just hoping they're safe. And yeah, it's just a shock. I can't work.
Mm-hmm.
I have to flee the country, and I got to sleep in a shelter tonight. So
Yeah,
because there's gonna be dropping bombs. It's just yeah, and like Santa said, you hear about this stuff in the Middle East, and you're just yeah, I've seen it before, and it's very, very sad. And then on one level, this wakes you up to that kind of stuff. And it's oh, this is real. It's oh, and it happens other places. So, very sad to see. I mean, I don't know what would warrant this kind of escalation to happen. So hopefully, like my boss said, that cooler heads will prevail and they can resolve it peacefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously not a good situation for anyone.
Yeah, at this point, all we can do is just send our hopes and wishes and prayers to everyone over there for hopefully a positive future and a safe outcome from this. I know there's already been a lot of destruction going on and people evacuating the country since this podcast has been recorded. Even now, by the time this podcast drops and everything, there'll be more and more people coming and going from the country. So everyone out there, just try and stay safe, and we're all thinking about you.
Yep. Think about everyone and holds those you love close.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here from the boys at the Footy Fans podcast. If you guys want to find us on social media, you can find us at footy_fans. Look us up on YouTube, look us up on Instagram, Twitter, and you will see all of our breaking news and footy posts from there.
We'll go with posts.
Until next time, we'll catch up next week after all of the week's action.
See you, everyone.
Bye.